All right, Cancer, welcome to your weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast for September 21st through the 27th. My name is Athen. So we have this lunar eclipse on Sunday, and this is going to be in your ninth house, which is about life path. It's always very important to follow the lunar transits for you Cancers, because this is, of course, your ruler. And the full moon, in this sense, the lunar eclipse energy, will be the highest at the end of the week. So as the week unfolds, you'll be feeling more of that energy. And for you, it's, and for all of us, it's a reflective time. But for you, it's a reflective time about your life path. Is there adventure? Is there that serendipitous sort of flow to your life path, which is, of course, so important for you Cancerians who have, Pisces, a very strong element of your ninth house. So it's a spiritual time for all of us, and especially for you when it comes to seeing your life from that overarching perspective, seeing, the spirited elements, the adventurous elements of life, your philosophy, things like that. And there can be a lot of insight to be gained during this time period. Now, with that being said, this is also a culminating point from over the past 6 months when you had the solar eclipse energy here in this ninth house. So anything that you have been involved with regarding travel, regarding that adventurous spirit or your philosophy, can come to that culminating point here at the end of the week, and it's subtle, so it'll be the end of this week and into next week as well. So if that's something tangible for you and something you've been perhaps working on, this can be the high point of that kind of energy. But again, this has been an ongoing energy. This is where all the eclipses have been, because the South Node has been transiting this part of the chart for about the past couple years. So the other thing that's important about this too is it's about the releasing energy. So you're releasing old things regarding philosophies, old concepts that are regarding your life path and the adventure and travel and all of that. And through that, that's when you gain that spiritual awareness. So anyways, let's go and look at this week leading into that lunar eclipse. And let me know if you guys have any questions, because there is a lot going on, as you can see here in the transit graph. Saturn sextiling up to the North Node all week and actually going into the 11th of October is very nice actually for this life path stuff, because the life path is actually pointing you towards communication. It's pointing you towards practical understanding, mental aptitude. This is the third house, which is about the grounded mental sphere of things, the practical sphere. And so all of that is supported this early part of the week, in particular with Saturn sextiling this part of the chart. The sun's going to go over that North Node about midweek and form that sextile with Saturn as well. So quite nice. There's a lot to be learned about communication this week, as there has been for the past couple of years. There's a lot to be understood about your outlook on things. And with Mercury retrograde, Mercury retrograde is often talked about in terms of crossing your T's, dotting your I's with the correspondence. And this is kind of the case for most people, but especially for you Cancerians, because Mercury does rule your third house, and he is retrograde in that third house. So bringing extra attention. How are you communicating? How are you corresponding? And how are you thinking about things? And being open to adjustments and experimenting and trying new and different things relating to that Mercurial and third house area of life. But in either case, very nice for taking that steady long-term approach to your communications and anything that involves your thinking patterns this early part of the week. One thing too is that Saturn is finishing up his transit of your fourth house, which is about home and family. So that stuff can be quite nice this early part too, where you can put in that energy and learn more about home, family, past roots and stuff on that level. Maybe even learn quite a bit about your material values. The sun does rule your second house. Going over the North Node does signify the importance of your material values, finances, things like that, which is a part of your chart that is already highly activated. There should be plenty of opportunities to increase the material values of your life, prolong them for the long term, to enjoy the simple pleasures, and even take action to assert yourself in order to attain more of your values that you enjoy in life. So that's the early part of the week. Venus does trine up to Uranus this early part of the week as well, actually. So that's very nice for groups, friendships, even the home and family stuff, since Venus rules those parts of the chart, maybe even the financial matters. Uranus is always about sudden things. In a harmonious aspect, it's usually sudden opportunities or insights or just an excitement about it, which then could fuel you to, again, take action, but to enjoy and to be grateful for the simple pleasures, to be grateful for what you have in life. And through that, it can be a very exciting time actually for those particular areas. And depending on your personal charts, maybe some sort of opportunity there as well. There's that sun sextiling up to Saturn that I talked about, and then the sun going over that north node here around Thursday. And then Thursday is when things start to shift and they become more challenging. As you can see here, Mercury is going to be squaring up to Pluto and Mars squaring up to Saturn. So these are, these are energies that it's important to bring extra attention to. Again, it depends on your personal chart, to the propensity of how imbalanced this energy might feel, but it does require that extra attention to bring balance to these areas. Let's first look at this Mercury retrograde, again, relating to the exchanges of life or correspondence, bringing extra attention to that anyways because Mercury is retrograde, but especially in the later part because Mercury is going to be squaring up to Pluto. Now, this is about the major changes that hopefully you are making to your routine, your health, your diet over the past many years with Pluto here. Pluto is actually going station direct this week here on Friday, as you can see. And so a lot of the things that you have learned over the past 6 months about the importance of stepping into your power at work, doing the thing that is right, but still coming from compassion. This is where Pluto is about drawing the line and saying, okay, look, this is what's important to me, but it's coming from the right place. And this is where I'm going to make change. This is where I'm really going to solidify and change things. And for you, it's about work. It's about health. It's about diet, routine, the daily activities. So if you come at it from that perspective, then this square can be very constructive, and you can learn quite a bit about that with the Mercury retrograde, and learn a lot about, too, how you're communicating, how you're conveying information, how you're thinking about things. And especially for those of you that are involved in a lot of writing or speaking in your work, it's so important for you to bring that extra attention to that, and then through that, be open to change and be open to learning. That's the best way to work with that Mercury retrograde, especially squaring up to Pluto. Be open to making change there, to how you see things too in your perspective. Be open-minded. That's a really good bit of advice. Now, Mars does square up to Saturn this later part of the week as well. So with all this energy that you should be asserting with your values and maybe even the financial stuff, it is important to take all of that very slow this later part of the week, or at least just be observant, because Mars square Saturn is like you're taking 2 steps forward, 1 step back. It can be sometimes frustrating, again, depending on your personal chart and your propensity to how you move forward in life. But it's very important to be constructive with it. Take it nice and slow, especially involving things regarding your self-expression, your creation, and even your career. Okay, because Mars rules those parts of the chart. So as long as you're open to seeing the long road and being patient and not necessarily needing the immediate response, although you might get one immediate response, but then, 2 things might be delayed. So it's that kind of energy, and the square can be constructive, and you can accomplish actually quite a bit regarding career, regarding self-expression, and your values and finances this week if you do have that long-term patient approach, which is Saturn. So that's it for the transits. And then, of course, we do have, like I said, that lunar eclipse at the end of the week on the 27th. And this is a culminating point of your life path. It's a reflection time. It's a spiritual full moon, but the energies are high for you. So it's maybe taking action towards how you can have more spirited adventure, how you can have more serendipitous, flow to your life, which is about following your heart, following your gut, your intuition along your life path, which is Pisces in that 9th house. And through that, there's a lot that can be explored, a lot that can be learned about yourself and about where you're headed and where you're going. So Cancer, have a great week. Thanks for watching. If you guys have any questions, please let me know, and I will see you all next time. Take care.